Welcome back, and it's time for the show wrap up. So, who else should we have to help me with the show wrap up? But the queen of marketing here, Megan Wendling. It's great to see you, Megan.
Thank you, you, Trevor.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me this morning.
Yeah, it's been a really busy show, and of course, last night we had an exceptionally good party that you hosted up in Orange Hills. So, thank you very much for that.
It was fun. We had a big crowd, and it was the industry is obviously thriving and growing because the party keeps on getting bigger every year.
Absolutely.
So.
All right, so let's take a look at the show this week and what's been the sort of high points of it. Mm-hmm. I can't say I've seen an awful lot of things that are absolutely revolutionary new.
Right.
Saw a couple of new refill ovens that are being manufactured in Mexico. So
Yes.
they made their
Yes.
debut here.
Right.
From
Yes,
Ursa and from
BTU.
BTU. Yeah.
BTU,
Yeah,
yes.
so-
The new Aurora and the Pyramax are now being made in Mexico, and Smart Sol is helping manufacture them in Mexico, and of course they're doing a great job, and the Mexican market for Smart Sol and for BTU is very strong.
Right,
So-
right. Well, the Mexican market generally is exploding, but you know, I'm just wondering, what do you think about the move up here to Anaheim instead of San Diego? I mean, San Diego's much easier for Mexican customers to get to.
Sure. Though I had a very large Mexican contingency at our party last night, so we had probably 3 tables of Mexican manufacturers. But part of the issue was that I work with many of the Mexican rep groups, SMT, VYS, Victor Madero, and he was explaining that most of the major EMS companies down there couldn't get visas to come to the show.
Really?
There's a 2-year lag on the visas, so
Wow.
it was very difficult, and very few people actually got to come to the show.
That's
All
interesting.
the normal people who would come, the big guys from Jabil and whatever, they just couldn't get the visas to come over. And
Well, yeah, that's really interesting because, I mean, I don't know if you noticed this week, because the show, the Apex, is paired with the Electronic Circuits World Convention, there's quite a lot of people from here, from Taiwan and China this week.
Yes.
Much more than you would normally get
Yeah.
at an Apex.
Well, I sat with a lot of the Chinese companies this week, and China is desperate to hit the American market, but the obstacles are so enormous. The only company that actually I've seen make some real headway is Cicino, which was the one click in China, and they have rebranded for the American market under the Cicino brand.
Yeah, that was a smart thing to do.
Yeah, and Leo Peng is a wonderful businessman, and it's taken a huge capital investment, and I think part of the problem is I sat with several new entrees just visiting Apex to see if they could enter the market, and when we sat with them, I tried to explain, this is a 5-year deal for you, and you're going to have a very big bank account and a lot of patience, because success in a year isn't going to happen. And,
Right. And a lot of them are going to have to up their game, quite frankly, because, I mean, one of the things I've noticed with the Taiwanese and Chinese companies coming into Mexico is they're buying best-in-class equipment because they know they're going to have to compete with American companies.
Right. So, and I've seen a little bit of slowdown on, for a while there, all the American contract manufacturers, and many that we have over 26 CMs in the MWA family as well, and everyone was racing to open up facilities and do JVs in Mexico, and that has slowed down considerably. And a lot of the big distributors have told me that there has been a little bit of a slowdown in the Mexican market. So coming into the fall, looking at the Guadalajara show, I guess we'll see. But certainly we can sell a lot.
Yeah,
So.
no, I think actually Dieter Weiss hit the nail on the head earlier this week by saying that it's really just a small inventory correction, because everybody had this oversupply. The OEMs had oversupplied, their warehouses were full, and they just said, look, push these orders back 6 months. We want them in the second half of 2024.
Right, I'm seeing a lot of that. So,
And I think truly that's all that's happening. I don't think there's any sort of major issue going on in terms of a downturn.
This is a Productronica year, and I think we saw Productronica is famous for new product introductions, and I think I'm not finding a lot of new technology at this show. There's some smaller things that I think are very popular, but most of the major pieces were brought out and debuted at Productronica.
Right.
Weller has a new unit that I thought was very cool. It is actually a vacuum station for air filtration
for exhausting the fumes.
and exhausting the fumes. You go into factories and have all this piping and all this stuff all over the place to ensure the filtration, which is becoming a big deal. But they've come out with a new filtration unit that is about the size of a bathroom scale.
Really?
And it goes on each station so that the worker is protected. And the price point is so low. And it just sort of, their new WX Smart, which is like 4 units in one, sits on this filtration unit so that, you have everything you need in about a foot by a foot footprint. And it's very, it's cleaning up these stations quite a bit.
Right.
So.
Well, it's becoming increasingly important because one of the big topics here this week has been sustainability.
Yes.
Everybody's moving towards sustainability and making things more environmentally friendly, saving energy, etc., etc.
Yeah. So, I think worker protection is becoming so important, and and the workers are demanding it, and rightfully so. But I think that this particular product is going to have a big reach, just because it can not only go into electronics assembly, but even when the notorious nail salons. I could see it having a place in a lot of different markets. So,
right.
But they're kind of been booming with that particular new unit, and it's kind of it's not a major piece of equipment, but it's making the workplace safer. So at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
So
great. Okay. Well, I think really, this, as I say, it's been a really busy week. The floor's been busy most of the week,
yes.
And I think I want to thank you for coming in and giving us an update on all the new equipment and things you've seen this week, Megan.
Well, thank you.